Guess how much money I spent on this skin.
$0.
Guess how much money I spent on this skin.
$0.
Or guess how much money I spent on this skin.
$0.
Or how about this one, for my Lumi?
$0.
And then here's my Sky Raider.
$0.
And here's my Stellaris, or Stellaris.
$0.
Guess how much money I spent on this stacked inventory from playing Mashmock a whole bunch.
$0.
Or how about how much money I spent on this war chest of actual weapons and modular weapons that you can use for Mashmock. It's extensively long. And that's what you get for playing Mashmock, right? Guess how much I spent on this. No, geez, it's very long. Holy wow.
$0.
So here's my Season 0 Reign of Fire recap. Don't mind the whole legendary rank thing. I started throwing as soon as I hit legendary rank because there wasn't D rank, but ignore all my stats on that. I just kind of trolled and ranked. That's just me having fun. But this is what you can get spending $0 on any CORITE in the game. And my Mashmock has an extraction success rate of 81%, spending, you guessed it,
$0
on CORITE. So really it's not pay to win, it's just play to win and skill. Alright, so the game Mecha Break came out July 2nd, and then right off the get-go we had a lot of variety bandwagon streamers making slop content and writing off the game and their whatever opinions. Me, on the other hand, I am a professional slop content creator, ranked number 1 in North America for Mecha Break, and I waited until the season end, the end of Season 0, in order to make my opinion whether or not this is a pay-to-win game. The reason why I was waiting was because I wanted to see if mods were really that important or powerful, or if gliders were overpowered, which are the two things that you could essentially buy with CORITE, the yellow currency, that could essentially make you more of a threat in the harder difficulties of Mashmock mode. Before we start talking about the objective technical critiques of the game, I want to start dissing a whole bunch of people, not for their personhood. I'm not saying that these people are bad people or that there's anything wrong with them. I'm just saying that they're being vocal, spreading misinformation, and having trash opinions. Like, I'm talking about this guy who streamed, I don't know, maybe 2 hours of playing Mecha Break day 1, doesn't even play it more than just one day, then calls it pay-to-win slop. If you've seen the game, the core gameplay, and you've played it, you know that this is not slop. You know that the mech designs, they've acquired, you know, the Gundam mech designers from certain Gundam series, and they have those videos posted on YouTube via their official Mecha Break channel, that there's even artistic design here that is not slop. And calling this game and dismissing it as pay-to-win slop is 1, objectively false, and 2, misinformation. And 3, it's wrong as fuck. I'm just gonna call it out. It's wrong as fuck. There's even some reviewers that just review bomb the shit out of Mecha Break based on, I don't know, wrong information or beta information. And maybe they're just beta players that just got really upset and pissy about the game, or maybe they're just actually malevolent actors, or maybe they're just idiots. I don't actually know. But here's one example of a review that just completely shat on the game with saying that there's like fire rate mods that increase fire rate when there is 0 fire rate mod that I've found. The only thing that might be a fire rate mod is for melee, and that's not even like firing a weapon. So I mean, geez, like 3 times your health? Come on, you're kidding me. You can't. The highest I've seen a gold tiered mod do is 7.8% max HP, so at most you can get like 23.4% increase in max HP. Not 5x, nowhere close to even 2x. And that's also with debuffs and other stats like reduced energy defense. Can't get 5 times more HP, you can't get triple stamina, you can't get any increase in fire rate outside of melee, and other massive buffs is just ambiguous. This is like such a shit review, but it's like one of the biggest ones that have stuck out, and many others are critiquing the game for pay to win aspect. So this is me in defense of the pay to win aspect. Also, people are just creating new reviews talking about paywalls. Like, what the fuck is paywalled? Literally, you can just play the game. It's free to play. You can unlock things with red coins that get things that would make a difference. You unlock strikers with red coins. You unlock weapons by playing. You can buy weapons with blue currency, which is the blue tokens, the matrix credits, that you can earn by playing. There's a lot of things you can get by playing. Alright, so let's start with my objective review of this game and its pay-to-win aspects. I'm going to say this twice because it's important and I should let you know early on. There is not a single non-cosmetic item, weapon, or mod you can't get by playing this game. Paying for CORITE, which is the yellow currency, the premium currency, doesn't give you any exclusionary access to any items of objective power difference in the game. You're buying items from other players. The Matrix Marketplace is a Warframe marketplace, where other players are selling items, weapons, or mods to you. Which just means that the Matrix Marketplace is just using the yellow currency, the CORITE, as a currency to trade between other players. It's just trading with extra steps. Now you may disagree, but that's not pay to win. It's just trading with extra steps. In terms of cosmetics, technically you can earn any cosmetic you want if you utilize the marketplace to earn CORITE through selling things to other players. That's right, you can earn the premium currency by selling items to other players. It's much like Warframe's Platinum Marketplace. In fact, I don't actively game the market. I sell random things on the Matrix Marketplace, and I've acquired this many CORITE. Other players have acquired like 37k CORITE. Others are ridiculous. I don't game the market. I kind of just play the game casually and then I sell what sells. Again, there is not a single non-cosmetic item, weapon, or mod you can't get by playing the game. That's important here. And the fact that you can actually earn the premium currency by playing the game, you gotta make sure you remember that. That's important here. So I'm going to give a brief rundown of the currencies in the game that you're using to buy random things. There's the red coin, the mission tokens. They're unlocked by doing missions, playing the game, or through items found in the PvPvE, which is the Mashmock difficulty mode, or game mode. Used to buy paints for your mech, or items for PvPvE, or some random cosmetics, or even unlock strikers. There's CORITE, the yellow cubes, they're premium currency that you buy with real money. You can also earn through selling things on the Matrix Marketplace to other players. There's also Matrix credits, unlocked by playing the PvPvE Mashmock and getting objectives, or selling items that you get from Mashmock to the military supply shop, used for items and deployables for Mashmock. Currently in the game Mecha Break as of Season 1, there's 3 game modes. There's VERGE 6v6, there's Ace Arena 3v3, and there's the Mashmock, the extraction shooter PvPvE mode, as well as the covert operations for Mashmock, which is a PvE mode loot run. So in the game Verge, in ranked Verge, you can't bring any mods, so there's no pay to win there. Absolutely no pay to win, done. Ace Arena ranked, there's no mods there, so absolutely no pay to win, done. For Verge and Ace Arena casual modes, you can bring in mods, but honestly, they don't really make a huge difference, and you kind of just troll. Like, I've made an aerial flying Tricera, you can check out the video later, but I just troll with mods in those modes. In Mashmock PvPvE, the game modes have different difficulties, normal, hard, and extreme, that limit your combat readiness. It limits the amount and tier of weapons that you can bring, the amount and tier of mods that you can bring, the amount and tier of airdrops you can bring, including gliders. The limit for normal is 2k, the limit for hard is 6k, and for extreme there is no limit. So arguably here, if you're smart, you probably think that maybe extreme is the pay-to-win game mode. The weapons tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 can all be earned in normal difficulty Mashmock, and they have a combat readiness respectively of 50, 100, 200, 600, 1800, 7200. So people who complain about getting shot by a tier 5 weapon in normal, it's doable, but chances of someone who's actually skilled bringing a tier 5 and risking it in normal is not, it's not good, it's not high. Like, you'd have to be kind of silly to bring a tier 5 weapon into normal, because there's a high chance that you can die. Like, honestly. The weapons, they provide a great benefit, but it might not be worth it. So here I have beam autocannons. You do about 1,000 extra damage per tier. You get a little more range and a faster reload time and a higher ammo capacity, so you can bring in more ammo into a match without having to rely on an ammo airdrop. Honestly, tier 3 and 4 are good enough for everything. And honestly, you can get those buying it via the Matrix supply shop using the blue coins, the Matrix credits. And you can find them quite frequently, and you can also loot them pretty easily. It's pretty risky and silly to bring a tier 5 weapon into normal Mashmock because it's more ideal to use it for hard or extreme difficulties. I played Narukami for Season 1, and she has a max HP of 28k and fluid armor of 20k, not including any resistances. It would take 3.6 shots tier 1 to take me out. If you get a tier 6, it would take 2.6 shots in order to take me out. Not including any resistances. Again, this doesn't include any resistances, and it also says that you're up close enough to actually land those shots, and you're skillful enough to actually land those shots, because I guarantee you I'm not going to stand still, and it's definitely not as easy as the numbers make it look. So really, a one-shot difference is not enough for you to justify bringing a tier 6 vice bringing just a tier 3. So you get what I'm saying? Like the max difference is not that large of a gap where it's like you can get one-shotted by that, unless you actually land a charged beam cannon, which does a considerable amount of damage. But honestly, you could be fine with just landing 2 shots from a tier 3 or 4 charged beam cannon, if that makes sense. The amount of returns per the increase in tier isn't necessarily worth it. So like for me personally, I run tier 1s all the time. Tier 1 beam autocannons, great. Tier 1 twin rocket launchers, great. I don't need tier 2, 3, 4 in order to do well. And if I wanted up to tier 4, I can just get them from the Matrix supply shop, which you can buy with blue currency. For mods, there's green, blue, purple, and yellow, which limits your combat readiness each by 40, 80, 160, or 320 respectively. Airdrops, most people just bring cargo rockets. You rarely will ever see a glider in normal Mashmock, and the only gliders that I've seen in hard and extreme Mashmock, I've stolen. I've seen probably like 25 gliders. I've stolen 23 of them, and I've died on 2 of the ones that I've stolen, because honestly, gliders are sniper pinata, and anyone who knows how to play a sniper or play around a glider can fly above and then just decimate the foes. So no, gliders are not the move for PvP. It's too risky, and if you lose a glider, the enemy team's gonna steal it and they're gonna take it. And I've stolen way more gliders than I've brought in, guaranteed. That's a fact. I do want to talk a little bit about mods again. It's just they provide a buff, but they also provide a slight debuff, so it's like balancing in a way. It's not like super overpowered, and honestly, I have a lot of mod boxes that I don't use, yellow and purple. I don't even open them because I don't really care for using mods. I have some mods and they work alright. I know several people that just play normal, hard, and extreme without mods at all, because there's a chance in the hard and extreme to even lose more of your mods if you get executed. In normal, you can also lose your mods, but the chance is like really low. It's like 30%. But in normal, hard, and extreme, if you get executed, there's a high chance that you can lose your mods, and then that means other people can take it. So even if you pay to win by buying mods, there's a good chance that you're going to lose the mods if your skills suck. And guarantee you, someone out there is gonna rip out your mods for fun. I'm not a trophy hunter. I don't like executing. I don't like griefing. That's just me. And then I execute people who execute. That's just my playstyle. I'm not saying that executing people is wrong. It's part of the game. All that jazz. Point is, mods make a difference in such a slight way that it only enhances playstyle and maneuverability. It provides also a debuff, so it makes you weaker to other types of playstyles. So really, mods enhance play styles and skill expression, and not actually, you don't just buy a mod and then win. It's not like you buy a mod with real money and then win. And as evidenced by how many mod boxes I have unopened, it's like not pay to win. You can't. I guarantee you with my extraction rate of 80% plus, right, that I'm not using these mods to wreck people. I guarantee you. So again, you can essentially throw your wallet into this game, pay for a whole bunch of yellow mod boxes, pay for gliders, pay for high tier weapons. You can have all those things, but if you die, you lose the weapons. If you die on a glider, I'm going to steal, or someone else is going to steal it, and then they get the glider. If you have mods and you get executed, you lose those mods. So paying in this game just gives you an extra slight edge, but also it has with it variable risks where you can lose all the things that you paid for. So, you know, it really is just like, I guarantee you in Mashmog, skill and positioning and then choosing when to engage and pick your fights in which areas is more of a deciding factor than having the primo weapons, especially if you can't land a shot. Like, I guarantee you that if you try to shoot an Alfred just by holding down left and right click with your dual beam autocannons, you're going to miss a lot of those shots. So, consider playing appropriately with high skill and then actually landing your shots. And you could do better with tier 1s. Like, I run tier 1s all the time in normal. I run them even in hard and extreme. And I don't like bringing in mods because I don't like losing mods. Especially since I don't want to open mod boxes. I have like 800 of them and I'm just stacking them for fun. So consider that when you're playing in these in the Mashmog in these different difficulties. And again, I'd like to remind people that you can get up to tier 6 weapons as loot drops in normal mode Mashmog. And I personally just use tier 5 and 6 for covert ops because there's a high chance that I'm not going to die to random NPC mobs, and there's a great damage output in using tier 5 and 6 with no combat readiness limit in covert ops Mashmog. So that's where I personally recommend using gliders and tier 5 and 6 weapons is covert ops Mashmog, as long as you don't, you know, die. That's just my personal opinion and preference. Because if you play PvP in extreme difficulty Mashmog, there's a high chance that you're gonna die, especially if you're not skilled. Or especially if you're with a team that isn't as skilled as you are, or as skilled as the enemy team that you're fighting against, or if you guys are just caught and got ambushed or whatever. It's definitely not a good look. And also I'd like to remind people that you can use the blue coins, the matrix credits, to buy up tier 1 up to tier 4 weapons in the matrix supply shop. I personally buy a lot of tier 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s of the weapons that I like using. You can effectively play in the menu buying things from the Matrix Supply Shop and then play normal difficulty Mashmog with a tier 1, 2, or 3 with no mods and get everything you need that you can take on to extreme difficulty Mashmog or even covert ops runs. That's literally not pay to win. Like, you're essentially making sure that you have the right loadout for the higher difficulties, and paying to win just essentially, or if you throw your money at it and buy CORITE, you're essentially just skipping a little bit of time just to have the right loadout to go play harder extreme Mashmog. But that, even then, that doesn't guarantee that your skills are there up to par in order to play those higher difficulty Mashmog. And if your skills are up to par to play higher difficulty Mashmog, you probably don't really need to buy weapons because you're probably winning a lot in normal, so you probably have all the weapons that you need, technically. That's just, I don't know, that's just my perspective on it. I don't run full mods, I don't care to, I don't want to open a bunch of mod boxes. Mods are fun and can enhance and tune your gameplay, but in my opinion they're not such an edge that you can win or can't win against someone who's fully modded. I've won a fair deal and a fair amount, and I don't want the headache of losing mods for being executed, and I know a lot of other people don't want that either for the harder difficulties of Mashmog. That's also why sometimes we run games in VC where we try to queue up in extreme with rules of kill no execute, because, you know, executing means that we lose our mods and that's not good. So we get lobbies where we will kill each other, but we won't execute out of fairness of the people that are queuing in the lobby, but that's just like a side note. It's like more of a courtesy than anything, if that makes sense. Courtesy, not to grief, but yeah, your friends that you're playing against and with. Since launch, the game has improved on certain aspects since the beginning of launch in Season 0. You can now buy blue mod boxes, you can now earn purple mod boxes, you can also buy like a weekly limit of 3 purple mod boxes. The Matrix Marketplace no longer allows people to buy the exact mod they need. Instead, you can only buy the mod boxes, so even if you have the money, you can't guarantee that you get the mod that you want. You gotta gamble like everyone else, which is coincidentally more fair for non-paying players. They've done a lot of interesting things, and they're moving forward in the direction to try to make it more egalitarian with the idea of not being a pay-to-win game. And I encourage that, especially with what they're experimenting with Mecha Break, which I think is an experimental game itself. It's very artistic in that endeavor. So when people call this game pay to win, I come from an era of gaming where pay to win means you can buy literal armies of characters in a browser-based game and keyboard face roll an enemy team in a fraction of the time it would take for them to build the same exact army. So buying objective power from thin air and dominating an entire region where people would fight via their wallets. So when people say that you can pay money for any slight edge or time, I find that argument and definition disingenuous for this game, especially when you're buying weapons and items with objective power from other players. This game you can buy weapons, but not during the game, not during the matches. You have to make sure that you're prepped up before in your loadout screen, before you go into the game, and then you have what you find and what you have on you. So skill and positioning does make a difference. If saving time on grinding is pay to win, then people who are working real jobs for real money to use on their hobbies of a video game would be pay to win, and life would be essentially pay to win. If you want to live in that capitalistic dogma of a society, then by all means have that same perspective. I'm not going to try to tell you to change your mind on how to live life, because chances are you're already made it up for yourself. Assuming life is a game, that there's some undefined win condition that you somehow found in your singular lifetime that centuries of human history and philosophers have yet to discover since the dawn of mankind, I doubt you're the guy that knows, but who knows? Point is, the game is not pay to win because the person with more money doesn't come out on top. It's the person with a good playstyle, with good teamwork, with good skills, with good positioning, and a matching kit for their playstyle, which is all achievable by playing the game. Hell, I sometimes run extreme match mocks successfully several times with 0 deaths without even having full purple mods. I just run tier 5 weapons like a charge blaster and like a tier 1 sword. Maybe I'll have 5 purple mods, maybe some blues and some greens even. I don't even focus on mods because 1, I don't want to lose mods, so I don't use the best, and I don't care to open a whole bunch of boxes for the best. The developers also added, PvE covert ops, which I think is a really great way to showcase the full extent of what you could bring in via mods, weapons, and gliders. And it's a nice sort of safe ground for a lot of people to test out their stuff, and also to farm a whole bunch of good loot for, bringing into regular PvP matchmok. And also, I'm not worried about being executed in PvE covert ops, so I can bring all the mods I want. So I guess when people say this game's pay to win, I'd have to think about certain things. Can you streamline your experience with money? Sure. You can slash wait times and buy weapons and airdrops instead of finding them yourself, or building them yourself, or researching them yourself. Nothing you can buy will give you some crazy edge though. Anything you can buy, someone else can also obtain too, without having to pay at all. In fact, everything you buy from the marketplace, again, reiterating, someone else is selling. It's trading with extra steps. The Matrix Marketplace is a player-ran market. Things being sold are being sold by other players. Literally buying weapons and mods from other players, therefore it's not unfair. There's not like a rich man's club with a gated key, with a gated gate, or something like that. There's no exclusive content specifically that provides an objective difference for people who pay to play the game than people who don't. So if you consider this game pay to win, then by your definitions from everything that I've said, you'd have to concede that any game with any trading system is pay to win. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you think that buying items from other players or selling items to other players for currency is pay to win, then any system of society is pay to win. That would also mean any trading system is pay to win. Even barter, if we didn't even have currency, if we didn't have coins or mintage or coinage, then bartering to trade would also be pay to win. Tick for tack. But then that would be going into the philosophy of pay to win, and, you know, honestly, I don't want to have a 15-hour philosophical lecture on what it means to live life and live a good life and just enjoy a game that's literally free to play and get good at. Like, there are a lot of valid critiques on this game. There's a lot of valid issues on this game, but it being pay to win is not one of them, especially when you can earn the premium currency by playing the game, by selling things on the Matrix Marketplace. In closing, a lot of people are complaining this game is pay to win, but they didn't do the math on normal mode co-op, which you can't bring 15 purple mods. You can't bring a heavy kitted glider or even tier 6 weapons, which use 7,200 combat readiness, which exceeds 2,000. Simple math. For me and a lot of other players, the only thing worth farming are typically paint boxes and seasonal boxes and the specific weapons that we like, which you can achieve in normal mode Mashmock. For extreme difficulty, it's higher risk and higher reward, but it's not OP. It's not buy OP gear and win type jazz, seeing as you can literally get tier 6 weapons in normal mode as boss drops or random loot drops. If you're playing harder extreme difficulty and you get a sweaty team or suffer from skill issues, I could make a rant video later, but I digress. Just go and buy purple tier 4 weapons in the Matrix supplies for in-game acquired blue tokens, the Matrix credits, and kit up. At most, I might concede that extreme difficulty is pay to win. Maybe, but you'll have to make a good argument and show me a really sweaty team with 3 tier 5 gliders and golden mods, and that they are willing to risk losing all of that, which I have never seen a sweaty team with with full golden mods and tier 5 gliders, and I think that would be great slop content. But I've never seen it. Extreme is no joke, and I don't recommend playing if you're not going to get sweaty. That's partly why queue times are longer for that mode, and, you know, all that jazz. There's a lot of other factors for why queue times are longer for that mode. There are plenty of real issues, again, that are worth addressing in this game in terms of the philosophical game design, but just dismissing it as calling it to pay to win slop on maybe 2 hours of gameplay is low IQ and not substantive nor objective to the underworking or the refinements made in the game or at how the game works, for even the refinements that they've implemented via patch notes and updates in Season 0 to Season 1. There's more of a discussion to be had with skill issues as well as balancing issues, like people not playing the objective or having 12 ranked tiers with 5 tiers in each rank, or bots or other things, or seal clubbing new players in Mashmock being an integral part of matchmaking and killing any prospects of onboarding new player base. Because, like, let's be real, this game isn't new player friendly because it's very hard to understand the basics, and then the chances of you getting emoted on by someone who has, like, I don't know, 20 hours, 100 hours in this game is very high. So it's not new player friendly because it's not like a little sandbox that new players can enjoy being a newbie in. So there needs to be a lot more hand holding and a lot more tutorial for onboarding new players, in my opinion. Speaking of new player experiences, if you want to join a community where we play Mecha Break, join our clan Discord, link in the description of the video. There, you can just ask me stuff. You can just comment on this YouTube video, or you can even just DM me, direct message, or just tag me or at me. And I will literally figure out a way or time to help explain things for you and get you up to speed. Because chances are you might have more potential than me and actually do way better than me. Because honestly, I like trolling and having fun, and I'm not sweaty at all. I'm very much a casual player. So if you want to enjoy playing this game, check out the link in the description for the Discord. And we're trying to come up with a new clan name. Maybe Fast Food Mafia, maybe something else. We'll see. But the critique that this game is pay to win isn't one of them, and these are my opinions from my experience as of playing all of Season 0 of Mecha Break. There's a lot of negative reviews for the pay to win aspect and the slop videos about this game being pay to win. I don't think that's the case. There's better things to discuss, like the issue of monetization in terms of the pricing of skins and other jazz, or the Linux distribution, or some other things that I've maybe ranted on in my soapbox videos. The biggest real issue in this game is the steep learning curve. Most people don't know how to target enemy players in MASH. They don't even know that there's enemy players in MASH to target. Most people don't even know how to play objectives in VERGE, and that's not including learning how to manage your energy, your positioning, managing your fluid armor, your HP, or your complex shields and abilities. So a lot of people just get blasted and sit like a duck and get farmed like common loot mobs, which is not a fun experience. So perhaps they can make an easy kiddie pool sandbox game mode that's PvE for new players to not get murked on, and learn how to get good in a sort of incubated environment. Something like covert ops, but more tutorial friendly and hand-holding and easy difficulty with really reduced loot tables. I think that would be great for new players. The game is more pay to skip, but you're also paying for other people's gear, if that makes sense. It's pay to not lose as much in MASH. There is no world in which paying guarantees you such a large edge that you win compared to other skilled gamers that are probably sold you the items that you're attempting to use against them, honestly. If you're running extreme and you're not ready for extreme MASH, that's honestly a skill issue. It doesn't matter if you paid to get your equipment to bring in that mode, or if you played to earn your equipment through RNG luck. It's pure skill the moment you drop in. You can't use your wallet in the middle of a match to get more anything. So no amount of CORITE or dollars in your wallet's going to change the game the moment your striker touches grass. Again, no amount of CORITE or dollars in your wallet is going to change the game the moment your striker touches the grass on MASH Mock. If you spend all the money in the world for items and only have sub 10 hours of playtime in MASH Mock, I'm willing to bet that you'd get wrecked by most teams that I've seen and gone back and forth with. You need skill to utilize your jazz. Pay to win is a philosophical argument in video gaming and arguably in life, and I feel that none of that applies here except for maybe Extreme MASH Mock, but even then, not really, because I've never seen someone throw their wallet and actually have the, like... I have a lot of gliders. I don't even bring them in PvP MASH Mock. I don't want to risk losing them. It's too risky. And so if you find someone like who throws their wallet at this game and then runs 3 gliders tier 5 in PvP extreme mode MASH Mock, let me know. I want to see it. If I take you out and you lose your weapons, if I execute you, you might lose your mods. If you're respawning or out of the game, then chances are someone's going to steal your glider if you ever bring that in. So consider all of that if you're buying all these things that you can buy with money and bringing it into a game. Spending money on power-based items without having skill is just being a loot pinata for other players with skill and positioning. This game is not pay to win. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, this game is more play to win. Play to brush up on your skills and then get good enough that you don't die, and then get good enough that you can kill, and then get good enough that you have strategies and optimized engagements with positioning and terrain features. The longer you live, the longer you extract with loot. Better loot, better odds, but no guarantees. The sad part is, for a lot of new players, they don't like losing or dying as a first-time experience and would be turned off. There are some people who can't conceive that they had any fault to blame themselves and will draw conclusions that the other players had better weapons like tier 6 snipers or something, or mods in normal, right? And that they got them through paying rather than playing, or they got them through grinding and then they're using it to grief on newbies. These people would preliminary surmise the pay-to-win aspect as the truth, rather than consider, hey, maybe I just got clowned on. Like, I get it, no one wants to get their ego humbled, but it's part of playing a PvP game. If you expect to play any game, like even Call of Duty, and have 0 deaths, and quit after the first death, like, of course you're not going to get good at it, you just gave up, right? And so, that's true with any game here. Anyways, I think I've ranted long enough. Basically, my verdict is that Mega Break is not a pay-to-win game, and I think a lot of people are just spreading misinformation without objective facts, and they're just saying shit out their ass, honestly. And, you know, maybe it's a whole bunch of disgruntled beta players, or maybe they're just stream bandwagging, making slop content, but the slop content isn't objective, right? So I present my case here with evidence and some numbers to back up what I'm saying and what I'm thinking, and also my experience. and it resonates a lot, I would imagine, with a lot of the other people that play MASH a lot more than I have. If you disagree, feel free to be objective with your criticisms, and then I will try to read them and consider. Just remember, when you disagree, remember that you can literally earn the premium currency by playing the game and selling things on the marketplace. And 2, you're buying from other players. You're buying items from other players. Remember those 2 things, and then go from there. I do have some issues with the monetization of skins and ace pilots, but those aren't, those are just cosmetics. You know what I mean? They're not, you're not winning by having fancier color paint, right? Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you either agree or disagree in this entirety of the video, and I hope you can formulate your own opinions, and then yeah, go from there. Let me know if I suck, but also be objective with you letting me know that I suck. Anyways, have fun. Have a good life outside of this, you know, like, this is just a game at the end of the day, and I think a lot of people have shit opinions, that's okay. But outside of this game, I hope you enjoy life, like, legit. Now, outside of whatever you got going on, please just, I hope you have a good life. I honestly mean that. Injecting hopium particles.